Hi everyone and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the markets in EVE Online. I'm your host delonewolf, and before I get started, while we head to the couch, CCP Falcon posted in the live events forums that the live events are going to slow down over the summer. This was to be expected because a lot of the devs take vacation during the summer months. And so yeah, they are going to have to slow down the live events. We've already seen it slowing down after the Battle for Caldari Prime. Before that we had an event almost every week. After that, well, maybe every 2 weeks or something like that. So to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we only saw events in July and August, like 3, maybe 4 events if we're lucky. They did say that they would also test new types of events, so some ideas that they have to see if they could try other things in order to get the live events going and to find out what could become popular with players. Personally, I could all imagine stuff like maybe a chase, a dev flying a decently expensive ship with a nice bounty on it that needs to be chased through low sec or stuff like that. But yeah, just a heads up that the live events are going to slow down over the summer months, and personally I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see like 3 or 4 events only over the summer. Anyways, we're here for the market, so let's take a quick look at the minerals to start out with. Here we go. Titanium does look to be holding on below 550 after its bottom just a few weeks ago. And let's have a quick look at prices in Jita Station then. 535, 521. So I think it's maybe even down a little from last week. But yeah, generally it's not continuing on its downtrend, but it seems to have found a bottom and it's now trying to hold down just below 550. Let's have a look at pyrites. Well, I would say that the downtrend might be a little bit on again in pyrite. There's no clear bottom like it was with titanium, and right now at the tail end the 5-day moving average is definitely moving below the 20-day moving average, so this could mean a downtrend for pyrite. Let's have a quick look at prices in station here. 13 ISK, 1302, 13 for the buyers, so yeah, just around 13 ISK. Maybe down a couple cents as well from last week. Let's have a look at Mixalon then. That one's going back down again. It did know a bottom, but it's gone below that again as well. So that's not looking too good for Mixalon. 38.97, 38.50, so almost 39. But yeah, it went below that, and I think this bottom might have been broken, and we could see lower prices for Mixalon as well. A lot of it could be just people that are starting to adapt to the new mineral supplies coming from low and null sec, so that they might just be getting some more mining fleets up, increasing the supply, and that this just took them a few weeks to get everything rolling, but that it's here now, and so we could be looking at a general downtrend for minerals for a bit. Next up, I had a request last week, so let's go and have a look at that. It was about the battleships that had an increased cost. So I actually did cover a lot of those battleships before, but maybe I will first start out by showing you guys what it's all about. So if I go to the blueprint, let's say Typhoon blueprint, you can find here a tab called extra materials, and as you can see, the Typhoon's got a lot of extra materials added to it in all of them. Yeah, that just increases the cost. The idea for CCP was basically to balance the cost a little bit to the rebalancing of these ships. So yeah, the Typhoon, which was changed quite significantly, got a serious increase in its build cost. Let's have a look at the Tempest here. Also an increase in build cost, but it looks like it's less than what the Typhoon had. Let's have a look at the Maelstrom then. A little increase, but not too much. So yeah, there you go. That's it for the Minmatar ones. Let's have a look at the Galente ones. Here is the Megatron, something like 2 million increased titanium, so that's pretty much the same as what the Tempest had, so not a lot of increase, but a small increase there. Now the Hyperion, interestingly enough, no change, no extra materials, although it got a serious buff, so I guess it was just too expensive for what it was before the expansion. And this is also a part of the rebalancing of those ships, not only in abilities but also in price. Let's have a look at the Dominics then. Whoa, 6 million increase, so they really think that the Dominics got a serious buff there, although it lost its hybrid bonus. Yeah, that's the biggest increase so far, I think, with 6 million titanium. If the rest of it is in line there, that could definitely mean that the Dominics knew a serious increase in price. It could also be the opposite, that they think that the Dominics is not changed too much, but that it was just too cheap for what it could already do, and so they tried to increase the price while not changing the Dominics' abilities too much. Let's have a look here at the Scorpion. That's about 4 million, so a decently sized increase in mineral cost. The Rock just got a little extra titanium. That's really hardly anything, hardly noticeable on the Rock costs. Let's have a look at the Raven. Almost 2 million again, so that one is like the average increase, you know, not a bigger one, but not insignificant either there. Let's have a look at the Amar ones. Armageddon, 6 million again, so the Armageddon is in line with the Dominic's increase in price. Let's have a look at the Apoc, again around those 2 million, so that's the lower end again, and then the Abaddon is not changed at all in price. So I can suspect that they thought the Abaddon was a bit expensive, the Hyperion was too expensive, and so they changed the Abaddons and the Hyperion a little bit in what they could do, but not in the build cost price. And on the other end of that scale, the Apocalypse, maybe that's just because of the change in its looks, but also yeah, no, it's actually not the Apocalypse but the Armageddon, that they thought it was too cheap for what it did, so they added a lot of materials there, and same for the Dominics, a lot of materials added there as well. So yeah, that was a look at these increased build costs. I'm not going to go over all of them on the market charts. Maybe I'll do that next week if there's really a demand for that. But since the idea is to balance everything out a little bit, it could explain why we didn't see such drastic movements when the changes to the battleships were announced. You know, you would have expected the Hyperion to really increase in price quite a lot, but it didn't. And this is part of that rebalancing as well. So CCP is also trying to keep an eye on the price and making it all a little bit fair, so, yeah, so that you don't get some of the best battleships for the lowest price. Moving on, then we'll have a quick look at the Tech 2 command ships. We will have a look at those. Battle cruisers, advanced command ships. I'll just have a quick look at the Tremont charts and see if any of them. So Absolution Spike is there. Damnation looks like it might be coming to an end of a spike, so it could be a good time to sell. Nighthawks, general uptrend, so I wouldn't be trading that too much. Vulture on an uptrend there. If you have some Vultures, keep an eye for the top. Astartes decently low here with a previous top, 5-day moving average below 20-day moving average, so might be some buy opportunities there. EOS back on an uptrend, so probably the bottom here below 220, heading back for 240. So I'd hold on selling on those if you have some. Claymore, 5-day moving average above 20-day moving average, slow uptrend here. But it was a pretty spiky movement, so if you bought some, once again keep an eye out for a top. Sleipnir, I'd say, well, it's gonna be on a downtrend, so for the Sleipnir I'd say keep an eye out for a buying opportunity actually. If that drops back below 240, you might have a buying opportunity and then a selling opportunity at 250 or something like that. But yeah, this is the current market I'm looking for some quick trading money, if you have any to spend. And that's just general. The general idea is that you can see some spikes on those charts, even here on those 3-month charts, and yeah, you just have to try and find if it's a buying opportunity or a selling opportunity or what it's evolving to, so you can keep an eye on it over the course of the next week. Anyways, that was a quick look at some of the trading stuff. Let's go for Tech 3 melted nanoribbons. Ooh, look at that spike, very nice. 20-day moving average going for 580, 5-day moving average heading for 620, beating the previous top a couple of months ago, so that's very interesting. 6.5 for the sellers in station, that's an awesome price for melted nanoribbons. 6.2 for the buyers, so it doesn't look like it's all just speculative money pushing the price up here. But there's definitely a reason for this increase in melted nanoribbon prices, which is really good for wormhole dwellers. Just look at that, it's really interesting, a serious uptrend here. Even at the 1-year chart, it's very, very sharp. So it could be a mirroring of this one right here from the bottom at almost 450. Definitely a general uptrend again in the 20-day moving average. Very, very interesting. If you have melted nanoribbons, I'd say keep an eye out for a top. Lastly, we'll go for Gallente fuel blocks, but ooh, that one's actually going down. That's interesting. Look at that, 5-day moving average definitely trending down. So it could be that the impact of the ice changes were overestimated a little bit, and I will see a small correction back down. I don't think it will settle back below 13k, maybe a more realistic price is 14 to 15k, something like that. At least the 5-day moving average seems to be moving that way. Very interesting for people that have pulses, I think. We'll have a quick look at technetium here. That one continues its downward trend. Let's have a look at the 1-year chart. Towards 20k, so that's really bad. Despite the war, people are just focusing on other stuff, coming from 0-0, I think, to build up a cartel. That's just from 180k to 20k in 1 year. That's a total crash, a total devastation of the technetium market. And this is the reason why the goons are invading test at the moment. And then we'll end up with PLEX, which are sluggishing here. That's not the continued rise, so it could be that we have seen the top for the expansion, going at around 555, something like that. So if I look at the 3-month chart, there is definitely a break in the trend here, with 5-day moving average jumping back something like 20 million. That's pretty significant, dragging down the 20-day moving average. So we could see the reverse of the uptrend, the top of the Odyssey expansion, and then it's once again keep an eye on if this trend continues. You could have a new buying opportunity, maybe aim for 500 million, something like that, and then we'll have to wait for the winter expansion for the next stop. But this does look like a break in the uptrend for PLEX, and so we might be seeing a buying opportunities at some point in the future. Very, very interesting that we still see this pretty much every expansion. So anyways, that's it for this EVE talk, guys, and I'll see you all next week.